Have you ever wondered about the man who has defined Kenyan politics for decades? The figure who, time and again, has stood at the center of Kenya's most pivotal moments? Today, we delve into the life and legacy of Raila Odinga, the man, the myth, the political legend of Kenya. From a young activist to a prime minister and a perennial presidential contender, his journey is a captivating story of ambition, resilience, and an unyielding fight for a vision of Kenya. Born into the heart of Kenyan politics, Raila Amolo Odinga was never destined for a quiet life. His father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, was Kenya's first vice president and a towering figure in the nation's independence movement. Growing up in this environment, Raila didn't just inherit a name, he inherited a legacy of political struggle and a deep-seated desire for change. This early exposure to the corridors of power and the fight for liberation instilled in him a sense of purpose that would guide his entire life. But his worldview wasn't shaped solely within Kenya. Raila's journey took him to East Germany for his higher education. There, he pursued a degree in mechanical engineering, but more importantly, he was exposed to a completely different political and social system. Living behind the Iron Curtain during the Cold War gave him a unique perspective on governance, ideology, and the power of the state. This experience broadened his intellectual horizons and honed his technical expertise, but it also solidified his commitment to the democratic ideals he felt were lacking back home. He witnessed firsthand the dynamics of opposition politics and the struggle for freedom, experiences that would become the bedrock of his own reformist ideals and charismatic leadership style. Returning to Kenya, Raila didn't simply join the established political order. He challenged it. Kenya in the 1980s was under the firm grip of a one-party state, and dissent was not tolerated. But that's precisely where Raila began his political journey as a vocal activist against this authoritarian rule. He became a leading voice for multi-party democracy, demanding greater freedoms and accountability from the government. This path was fraught with peril. For his pro-democracy stance, Raila faced the full force of the state. He was detained without trial multiple times, spending years in prison, including long stretches in solitary confinement. These periods of incarceration were intended to break his spirit, but they did the opposite. They forged him into a symbol of resistance. His imprisonment became a powerful part of his public persona, cementing his image as a political martyr who was willing to sacrifice his own freedom for the freedom of his nation. Each day he spent behind bars only amplified his message and strengthened his resolve. Upon his release, Raila didn't retreat. He doubled down. He understood that true political power didn't come from the top down, but from the ground up. He pioneered a powerful model of grassroots mobilization, traveling to the far corners of the country, listening to the grievances of ordinary citizens. He found a particularly receptive audience in marginalized communities, those who felt left behind by the central government. He spoke their language, championed their causes, and gave voice to their frustrations. This connection with the common person, the hustler, became his political superpower. His ability to rally massive crowds and build a loyal, passionate following from the grassroots level transformed the landscape of Kenyan politics. Raila Odinga's name is synonymous with presidential elections in Kenya. His multiple bids for the presidency are a testament to his incredible resilience and unwavering belief in his vision for the country. Time and again, he has mounted formidable campaigns, crisscrossing the nation and building powerful coalitions. Each election cycle presented new challenges, new alliances, and new controversies, but Raila's determination never wavered. A key to his enduring influence has been his ability to build bridges across Kenya's diverse ethnic landscape. While his core support has traditionally been from his Luo community, he has consistently reached out to other tribes, forming strategic alliances to broaden his political base. Campaigns like the National Rainbow Coalition, NARC, in 2002, and the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, were masterclasses in coalition building, bringing together leaders from different regions under a common banner of reform. This collaborative approach expanded his political influence far beyond his ethnic stronghold and demonstrated his capacity as a national rather than a regional leader. The outcomes of several of these elections have been deeply controversial, leading to widespread protests and political crises. The 2007 election, in particular, was a watershed moment that plunged the country into turmoil. Yet, even in the face of what he and his supporters believed were stolen victories, Raila often chose the path of negotiation and reform over prolonged conflict. His willingness to engage in dialogue and seek political solutions highlights a crucial aspect of his character. A pragmatist who, despite his fiery rhetoric, ultimately prioritizes the stability of the nation. Perhaps Raila Odinga's most tangible and lasting legacy is etched in the very fabric of Kenya's governance, the 2010 Constitution. Following the post-election crisis of 2007-2008, a grand coalition government was formed, with Raila serving as prime minister. This was a pivotal moment. From this powerful position, he championed a comprehensive constitutional review process. He was a key driving force behind the reforms that sought to dismantle the imperial presidency, devolve power to county governments, and establish a more robust Bill of Rights. The new constitution, overwhelmingly passed in a referendum, was a landmark achievement. It strengthened Kenya's democratic framework, creating more checks and balances and ensuring that power and resources were more equitably distributed. For Raila, this was the culmination of decades of struggle. The principles of devolution, judicial independence, and expanded civil liberties that he had fought for as an activist were now enshrined in the supreme law of the land. This work during his premiership cemented his legacy not just as a political agitator, but as a nation builder and a key architect of modern Kenya's democratic structure. In the grand tapestry of Kenyan history, Raila Odinga is a thread of vibrant, undeniable color. He has been a revolutionary, a prisoner, a prime minister, and a 5-time presidential candidate. His journey is a reflection of Kenya's own turbulent path towards a more perfect democracy. He has inspired millions with his charisma and his relentless advocacy for the common person, for human rights, and for a more just and equitable society. While the presidency has remained elusive, his impact is undeniable. He has fundamentally shaped the national conversation, pushed the boundaries of political discourse, and forced the country to confront difficult questions about identity, power, and justice. Whether you see him as a hero or a controversial figure, one thing is certain. Raila Odinga's legacy is not just in the elections he contested, but in the democratic ideals he championed and the constitutional reforms he helped deliver. He remains a towering figure, a political legend whose story is inextricably linked with the story of Kenya itself. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the life of Raila Odinga. What are your thoughts on his legacy? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on the figures who shape our world. See you next time.